Our next reconstruction is the tragic death of Diane Sindall in Merseyside.
So shocking was Diane Sindall's rape and murder in 1986 that it made BBC's flagship Crime Watch programme.
Hi. Are you okay?
But the man they eventually convicted, dubbed at the time as the Beast of Birkenhead, has been fighting since to prove his innocence. Today, Peter Sullivan, who has spent the last 38 years in prison, took his case to the Court of Appeal for the third time, armed with new DNA evidence that he hoped would prove it wasn't him.
In the light of that fresh evidence, we quash the conviction. As we have noted, the respondent very properly does not seek a retrial. The appellant must therefore be released from custody.
In court, his family looked longingly at the video link of him from Wakefield Prison before beginning to cry through smiles. So sure were they that this time they had the evidence to prove that he was innocent. And when the news was delivered that Peter Sullivan was finally going to become a free man, he broke down in tears, as did his family, who mouthed, "We've done it."
And how did you feel when you heard the words that he...
Oh, look, we melted. You know, as soon as he said, you know, I mean, it's quashed. You know, I mean, you're a free man. We all broke down. Peter broke down. You know, and to see that, come on. You're going to kick me off. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's the emotion of that and to see that. Look, we're happy. To the sense that he's coming home. That's what it brings, lovely.
At the end of the day, it's not just us. We haven't won. Peter hasn't won, and neither is the Sindall family. They've lost their daughter. They're not going to get her back. We've got Peter back, and now we've got to try and build a life around him again. So at the end of the day, we feel sorry for the Sindalls, and it's such a shame.
How do you ever begin to start rebuilding your life after almost 4 decades in prison?
It's a tough one. He's got to come out, he's got to... We still have telephone boxes in the street back then. We don't have them anymore, it's all mobile phones. He doesn't have them now, does he? So he's got an awful lot that he's got to learn. There's the rehabilitation side to it. It's coming back out in society. He's got to learn to live.
The appeal was brought by the Criminal Cases Review Commission after new technology revealed DNA taken from semen found on Diane Sindall's body was not a match with Peter Sullivan. Mr. Sullivan is described by experts as a suggestible man with limited intellectual capacity, who made and then withdrew multiple confessions at the time without legal advice. An expert dentist also criticised evidence which linked bite marks to his teeth. Outside court, Peter's solicitor read a statement from him.
I am not angry. I am not bitter. I am simply anxious to return to my loved ones and family, as I've got to make the most of what is left of the existence I am granted in this world.
Peter Sullivan now has the unenviable title as the victim of the longest miscarriage of justice for a serving prisoner in British history. Merseyside police say they reopened their investigation in 2023 when the new DNA was discovered, but are yet to find a match. So the wait for answers begins again for the Sindall family. Their pain is everlasting.
And you pop there now. I am joined now by Emma Torr, who is a barrister working for the Charity Appeal, which takes on wrongful conviction cases and works with lawyers and specialist investigators to bring them to the Court of Appeal. Emma Torr, an extraordinary case. As his family said today, in a way there are no winners. He spent almost 4 decades in prison, and Diane Sindall's family have to come to terms with the fact that the man who killed her is still free.
Yes, Jackie. Good evening. Thank you for having me on this evening. Yes, it's a truly appalling case. Peter Sullivan, as we've heard, waited almost 38 years to clear his name, and it's simply not right that people should have to wait this long in order to obtain justice. We know that his case was at the CCRC back in 2008 and again at the Court of Appeal in 2021. But on neither occasion were they able to identify his case as a miscarriage of justice. but he'd always maintained innocence. He'd always said that he was forced into a confession by the police. And there's serious questions to be asked, I think, Jackie, about why it took so long for him to finally become free.
I mean, as you rightly say, he first applied to the CCRC, the Criminal Cases Review Commission, in 2008, but it was accepted today by judges in court that the technology for testing DNA was just not well enough developed at that stage. Do you think there was still more that could have been done at that point, or was he just unlucky that the technology wasn't there at that point?
Well, DNA can be quite a complex issue, and I don't know the precise details in Peter's case, but there are similarities here between Peter Sullivan's case and that of Andrew Malkinson and also Victor Neelan, and where DNA exists but the potential for testing isn't available, then perhaps what's needed is some sort of review by the Criminal Cases Review Commission or by the police, so that when new technology becomes available, testing can be done so that people like Peter and Andy don't spend more years in prison than they actually should do, when obviously they weren't guilty of the crime in the first place.
So, as we say, the technology has developed significantly since then. Do you think there may be other cases like Peter Sullivan's where people are in jail wrongly?
That's a really good question, Jackie, and I think we have to be alive to the fact that there could be other miscarriages of justice. We know that Peter's case isn't the first. I've mentioned that of Victor Neelan and Andrew Malkinson, and we know that the CCRC turned down those cases previously, in Andrew Malkinson's case, saying that forensic testing was speculative and refused to do that extra work, and they're now undertaking a forensic review of murder and attempted murder and rape cases. So there certainly is a potential, Jackie, for other cases like this to be brought into the courts, which is a worry because there are plenty of people we know who are maintaining innocence in prison, but they're simply, because they maintain their innocence, are not eligible for parole. So that's another issue that's compounded here.
Emma Tor, going to have to leave it there for now, but thank you very much for talking to us this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you.